Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Morning Model Cars and Coffee, brought to you by Paul at West Coast Model Car Builds. Thank you, Paul, for coming up with this idea. It's caught on good. Lots of people doing it, so this is always fun. But going to be short today. Just kind of show you what's going on. Nice, brisk morning here in Florida, 55 degrees. Ran and got some coffee this morning. Sorry, I already had my coffee, so I can't share that with you. But just a little update on what I'm doing. Working on the Dino car a little bit, the Mercury Cyclone. Funny car. So just kind of dive right in here and show you what's going on. Let me get my camera adjusted here on the bench. So pretty much chassis just about done. So I got it sitting up on its wheels anyway, which is, I wanted to get to that step. So pretty basic, you know, I didn't do a whole lot of painted this all in, to me, a light gunmetal. So not a lot to it. I used the kit tires, which was a little aggravated because they were plastic, but then I started thinking about it. I thought, well, you know, I used 3D printed tires and, wow, that was bad. I used CA on that and it did not fire for whatever. That's really strange. Huh. Well, I will put a little kicker on there in a minute and get that going. I don't know why that didn't stick. Anyway, with the basic motor coming along, I drilled this out. I used one of those gopher magnetos, or it's supposed to be a magneto. It's more of a distributor. It's just kind of a generic, not much of anything, but they're easy. So I decided to go with that. And holy schmoly, unpainted parts on one of my cars. I never do that, but I was going to paint the headers white, and I was looking at the kit color, and I thought, well, they're not going to really look much different, and they're kind of nice and glossy as it is, so I just left them the unpainted styrene. So, and I got my manifold coming along here with these tall stacks, aluminum velocity stacks from Parts by Parks. I love these. They look so good, and gonna look good sitting up in there once I get this going. So yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. So that's my progress on that. Other than been painting lots of parts for this, all the other parts. Basically, I've just been painting the heck out of those. I'm gonna put a little drop of kicker down in here and get that CA to fire on there. Well, and onto the floor it goes. I don't know why that. I glued those on there like an hour ago, and it looked like it was still uncured, which is not normal. There. Anyway, it's up and on there. Fiddling with some other stuff. Of course, I'm still been painting the other parts for the 64 Olds funny car as well. Those bodies are both in primer out in the garage. I'm going to try to get time today to tape off the windows on this and get it sanded down a little bit more. I just haven't had a lot of time lately. Got this little dude in primer. Little Fink monster. Chuck Darnell sent me this. I think he got these from Italy, if I remember correctly, but he's really cool looking. He's got the little German surfer helmet on, got the flying eyeball in the middle of it, and he's just a little critter of some kind. So I'll get him in some white base coat and get him airbrushed up nice. So he's a cool little piece. What else? I just kind of dug this out. Another friend of mine that really good rat fink artist. He does some incredible, huge sculptures of rat fink, and he's done some big sculptures of Roth too. But this is like a small version of what they used to have, that store display. They had Roth store display that was basically this head. It was huge. Plastic thing that hung on the walls. They go for huge amounts of money. This was kind of one of his cast-offs. That's him, Junkyard Toys. That's his little, he's on Instagram. You can find him, check out his work. Really cool. But anyway, he sent me this, and I just airbrushed it up, and it's going to stick on one of the walls of my speed shop diorama eventually, which I was hoping to get that actually upstairs here before I get to the point where I can't do any heavy lifting. I was thinking about putting that on my wife's sewing table over here, but I'll have to see if that's cool with her. But I could actually get to it a little bit, you know, and do some work on it, because I really haven't tinkered with it in the last year or so. I've just kind of stopped doing that. And I started building that diorama in 2017, so 8 years so far in the making. And I just, you know, and I've got a ton of stuff to put in there. I've got that half of a Corvette that I was going to mount on the other side wall with the sign. I've been doing I actually just ordered some vinyl graphics for the sign. For the roof of it, I'm going to cut some plexiglass panels to make a roof sign. Once I actually have to get a sheet of clear plexi to put down on the top of it for the roof. That's one of my next things. I'm going to try to order. It's ridiculous what they want at Home Depot for a piece of that plastic, and it's not that big. It's about 2 feet by, I think, 32 inches, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's big for a diorama, but I just hate to spend a ton of money just on a plexi panel to put on the roof. And what I had originally thought of doing, which I'm not sure, I've got plenty of room, because the diorama itself is up on like 5-inch legs, and it's almost like a little table. But I've got plenty of room underneath, and I've been running wiring, because it's got lighting and stuff inside of it, and some effects inside of there. And I had thought about mounting a motor and then using a brass post, come up through the middle of it, through the plexi, and then have my sign where it would rotate, which I thought would be cool. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just have kind of backburnered it, because I've just been working on so many other things. I think I told you a couple months ago I'd ordered some stuff from Frankie's Hobbies up in Canada, and I still haven't got that. Unfortunately, Kevin had gotten ill and had ended up in the hospital, and I think he was in there for a few weeks. I'm not sure if he's out now. I've been in communication with his daughter. She has printed up the entire Gremlin. She was working on the motor for the drag boat. And they had filled a bunch of orders before that. I was kind of last in line, but it's been a few months, and so I'm hoping to get that stuff. I've been talking with her. I'm going to message her again today. She had told me she was going to try to get it out this week. She had all the parts in the curing station, I guess, and trying to get that finished up. But, you know, cutting her some slack. You know, her dad being sick and her trying to wing it alone and get the orders done. So I've got plenty of stuff to work on, obviously, you know, so I'm not going to do that to them. And he's a really nice guy. So hopefully whatever's going on with him, he gets through successfully and gets back on his feet. So anyway, good people to deal with. I've gotten a ton of stuff from them in the past, and they do really nice 3D printing work, and they've got other stuff available too, but the 3D print stuff, a lot of unusual stuff, so you might want to check them out. Other than that, I think that's about it. I don't have much else to show you, because that's kind of all I've been fiddling with here. Did some digging this morning. An old friend of mine from Dave's Show Rod Rally, Jim, he's done a few 3D printed things for me as well, and he was looking for a copy of one of the original Master Modelers Club certificate, and I just happen to have an extra one of those, and I had some copies, so dug that out this morning. Unfortunately, it was all the way at the bottom of every tub in my closet full of models, so did some digging, deep digging and diving, and found that for him. So I'm going to get that out to him this week. I'm trying to tie up all my loose ends before I'm stuck here at home in a couple of weeks. So anyway, so that's what's going on. And hope you guys have a good Sunday. Sorry I don't have more to show you, but just you know, doing other things right now. My oldest daughter, Dawn, just got back in town from Missouri. She's been up there since Thanksgiving. So glad to have her back, and try to help her out a little bit. Yesterday did her yard for her, and her and the boys. She has 2 French bulldogs, my grand dogs, Ray and Chunk. So they were here yesterday, and a nice dinner with them, and I got to spend some time with them. and do a little catching up, because she's a good kid. She's not a kid anymore, but she's still my kid, and she's a great kid. And so we're glad to have her back in town for a while anyway. And she's going to be working on her house some more, getting it fixed up. She's hoping to start doing Airbnb with that house in the next few months. So yeah, so that's what's going on. And of course, we got Easter coming up next week, and family coming. My mom's birthday. My mom will be 87 years old next Wednesday, and so we're going to celebrate her and celebrate Christ for Easter next Sunday. And my kids are all coming down, so looking forward to that. And I'll only be missing my son. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any more time off until summer sometime, so he won't be here. But hopefully have the rest of the gang here and have a good day together and celebrate my mom. So looking forward to that. So anyway, okay, you guys have a great day. Thanks for coming by. I'll try to get some more work done this week and see if we can't start getting this together. My paint from Tropical Glitz, I don't think it's going to be until Tuesday. I just checked the notifications on that. And of course, it's farting around in the mail. It was over near Orlando somewhere yesterday when I checked. So it might make it tomorrow, but it'd be nice to. It's weird because I've had problems again. I just did some rattle can paint work. I had that the Roadrunner Rail Rider, the little train that looks like a Zinger with a big engine, and I was just spraying it black with the Tamiya black. It was all primed and sanded, and it crackled. The paint crackled on it in several areas. I don't know what's going on because it's not that humid. Conditions have been good. It's cool out there, and got some crackling in it. So I'm gonna have to do some sanding back down on that and hit it with some more paint maybe today, because I thought that would be fun. I've got a lot of the other parts painted. I thought that would just be a fun build to be able to throw together, because it's basically a snap tight. So I thought that would be fun to get finished anyway. But once again, paint difficulties. And I usually just don't have these kind of difficulties. Maybe I'm hurrying, laying too much paint on. I don't know. Trying not to. But so, yeah, but, shit happens. And when you're fiddling with paints, with lacquers and urethanes and stuff, sometimes things just backfire. So I haven't had it in a while, but it did. So, all right. Have a good one. I'll see you guys again real soon. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that bell, hit the thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And I'll see you later on this week, and I appreciate you guys coming by. Thanks.